Hello. Hello? Wait. Oh my god. Uh-oh. Wait. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. Holy moly. Oh my god. Hello. Hello. Ah, there we go. Hello. I can't hear anything. What the heck? Hi. Hello. I don't know if you can hear me, but I can't hear myself, so. Oh, this is so scuff. I come back and nothing's working. I can't hear myself. It looks like you guys can hear me, but I can't hear myself at all. Settings. Hi. Hello? What? Oh, that's why. No wonder. There we go. Wait, no. Default. Mic. Apply. Okay, how about this? Now can I hear myself? Hello. Hi. Can I hear myself now? No, I cannot. It's on monitored output, but I cannot hear myself. Wonderful, I know, right? Wonderful. I can't hear OBS. I can't hear my music. And I'm doubling my audio. Hold up. Why do I have two microphones? Why? Settings? Audio? Disabled. Default? No, disabled. Default? Why? Oh. No, this should be disabled. Because I have this one set for my monitoring device. And then this should be default, yes. Okay. I don't know what's happening. I can only hear myself. This is so sad. Anyways, how is everybody? In like the 5 days I've been gone, have you had anything exciting happen to you? So sad, I know. I just closed OBS and opened it up again to see if that would fix the issue, but I cannot hear anything. Hold up, let me open up this. I cannot hear anything. Hold up, let me open up this. I can hear myself on Twitch, I just can't hear myself in OBS. Let me see if I can hear anything on here on my desktop. I can. It's just OBS. That's so weird. I got my passes for Otakon over at Washington, D.C. Let's go! Heck yeah. You want to know where I've been the past week? Yeah. You wanna know where I was? Where you been? I was at a con in Texas. I was at Anime Matsuri. And I was gonna show you guys pictures of like where I went. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I went as a I wasn't there as an attendee. I was there as like a helper, so here. This is so weird, just not hearing anything. I can't hear anything at all. Anyways, I got back like Sunday. Actually, no, Monday at 1 a.m. So that was fun. I got no sleep at all this entire week. It was great. Also, none of my plugins are working. Like, I mean, not like Live 2D, but specifically the bonk redeem. I don't know why it's not working. I have to go fix that. I come back. Well, it's been broken for a while. I don't know what happened to it. Anyways, let me show you pictures. Alright. Look with your eyes. Ignore the way I censored everybody's faces because I couldn't figure out a better way to do this, and I didn't want to be like, oh, I'm gonna show people's faces on my stream because that's kind of awkward. I don't want to do that. So I took like a crayon and I I went through and I scribbled over everybody's faces. This is on my phone, by the way. If you're like, wow, you got a slideshow to work. No, this is my phone. And I think it's stuck. Hold on 1 second. Hello? Hello? Why are you not... Okay, I have to close it and open up again. Anyways, because I was there as a helper, we had to get there at like 9. The place opened. No. Sorry, my thing just tried to open up twice, and I was like, uh-oh. We had to get there at like 9:30. And it was great. I woke up at 8 in the morning so that I could like get ready and everything, and then the time the con ended was at 5. But the time it takes to like pack up everything and leave, it's like a good... Why am I wearing my headphones? I don't need to wear these if I can't even hear. Like, what's the point of... Why am I doing that? I don't need to hear. I can't even hear myself. This is so weird. Also, off topic, but did you know that there is a category on Twitch called just catting instead of just chatting? Very random. I was going through the thing. I was like, wow, I could be in just catting. I don't know what that means. Is that a game? But yeah, the con finished at 5. Let me go back in picture. The con would finish at 5, and then by the time he left and everything, we would... I was with like a group of other people. I was like with a bunch of other artists and stuff, and a bunch of other staff. Such like staff slash like artists, essentially, like artist alley people. So afterwards, we would go to get dinner together. We went to go eat, and by the time we like did all that and got back home, because we didn't leave the con until like... No, yeah, the con ended at 7. I was wrong. We didn't end at 5. We ended at 7. It's from 10:30 to 7 p.m. We got there, finished, had dinner, came back at like 10:30 p.m. And you know, like when you're at night and then you get everything all ready and go to bed, it's like 2 a.m. So then I wake up again at like 8. So I got like 6 hours every night. It was great. It was a lot of fun. Hi. Oh. I can't hear anything. Also, I added YouTube alerts, so if people follow me on YouTube or subscribe, I get alerts now. I fixed that. I updated that before I left. But yes, hello, how are you? It's been a while. It's been like 5 days. Thank you for the follow, Omar. Omarch? Omark or Omarked? I don't know. It was a lot of fun. Very, very cool. Did you guys behave while I was gone? Hello, how are you? What you doing? What you up to? Pretty dope, yeah, great. Very fun. Had a lot of fun. I am still recovering from like my lack of sleep. Normally on weekends I sleep for like 12 hours straight, but I did not do that this weekend. I left on Thursday night and then I came back like Monday at 1 a.m. I've been just like trying to catch up on sleep, just like napping at work, trying not to get caught by my manager. Nothing much has got an account on Twitch. Nice! Congratulations. I don't know. Are you from YouTube? Maybe? Are you from YouTube? Let me put chat above my pictures. Here we go. Let me drag you. There we go. I'm super mega hyped for the Ado concert I'm going to. Off the rails anxious. Ooh, have fun. I love Ado. She's so cool. It makes me feel bad though, because I'm like, damn, she's so young and what am I doing with my life? Like, damn. She's like super like cool and I'm like, I'm just here. Also, welcome to Twitch. Hello. There's always plenty of time. Yeah, but I feel like there's never enough time for anything. Okay, do you guys want chat above or under? I don't know. Where should I put you guys? You guys can be up there. I'll just move this somewhere. Anyways, I don't know how to go across this. So I left Thursday. We arrived. Hello? I don't know why it says unregistered. This is like AirPlay on my phone. And I put everything into a folder. And then I went through and I like censored everybody's faces. Anyways, yes. For the people who are just arriving, I went to Anime Matsuri in Texas. My first time in Texas. I was very disappointed that I didn't see enough people wearing cowboy hats. I was like, man, I thought Texas... Also, first of all, Texas is huge. There's like 3 airports. Maybe 4. I don't know. At least 3. There's at least 3 airports in Texas. I've never been there before. Yeah! And what's weird is that Texas has like a cult of like its own specific things. Like there's a grocery store that's huge called Heb. And for some reason a bunch of people love going to Buc-ee's. They're like, oh my god, I love Buc-ee's. And you see people walking around with like Buc-ee's merch. So Buc-ee's is like the huge... It's like a huge gas station that's essentially... Buc-ee's hype. It's like a huge gas station that has its own like merchandise and all they sell is just their own thing. So everything is their own brand. Whether it be like ready to eat meals, snacks, candy, like stuff you would find at a gas station, but like huge. The place is like wide. Like imagine like a Walmart in the US and like just multiply that by probably 3. That's how like huge it is. I didn't go because it was farther than the area I was in. I was in like Houston, so like Buc-ee's is in the highway, so I wasn't there. But I did go to Heb, and that was fun. I was like, I've never been to this place before. It's like a big giant Publix, but their own brand. I'm like, why does Texas have their own stuff? What is this? And Either Nuts, best gas station in the world. I've never been, but I saw a bunch of people with like merch of it, and everyone's talking about like, oh my god, I love going to Buc-ee's. I'm like, what? That's kind of weird. Anyways, so day 1 when I got there, I arrived. That is hype. It's interesting. It's kind of fun. You're like, huh, never seen that before, but very cool. Yeah, go on. I arrived Thursday at night at like 11. Actually, no, like midnight. So we got to the Airbnb, got picked up by like a group of like friends that we were staying with. went to bed, and then like basically the morning of, I need to move my captions too. The morning of like Friday, we had to get up like early. I woke up at like 8 so that we could go down to before the con opened at, I think Friday it opened at 10:30, so we got there at like 9, had like an hour and a little bit to set up. People with the Super Pass got there early, so even though the con opened at technically 10:30, there was people there at 10 just walking around. And they had like really cool panels, a lot of really cool stuff. I didn't actually get a walk around the place until probably like Saturday, because like it was like a lot of like stuff getting set up and being all like, okay, so this is how this works, this is like what's going on. So the people there are really nice. I was there as a artist alley helper, so I was there as like helping booth, like an artist. And so like the entire time, it's really weird because you're sitting there, and then if you make eye contact with people, sometimes people run away. But it was a lot of fun just kind of sitting there and like, how do you say it was a lot of fun just kind of like seeing all the people with cosplays. Like this is my second time going to a con overall. So the first con I went to was like in Canada. Yeah, it's my second time at a con and my first time boothing, like as like an artist. Yeah, so I was an artist alley, and the place that the table was at was like very close to the live drawing section of this place, and so like half the time I was like, oh wow, that's cool, they're drawing. I look away to go do something, and then I look back up and I'm like, oh wow, they've gotten so far ahead in that drawing. And then we were also like, I was in the back, so it was like really close to the 18+ section, and that place was wild. I went in like a little bit like on a different day. I walked in and like you look around and it's like, wow, there is a lot of like boobies. You're like, oh wow, that's nice, that's cool. All of our hopes and dreams are in there. I don't know, I've never seen that many like boobs in one place. I was like, wow. But damn, there was like a BL section in there too. It wasn't just boobs, it wasn't just eki, it was like there was a little bit of BL, but the BL in there wasn't even that bad. I don't know why they put the BL in the 18+ section, because the BL was like, they were like wholesome BLs and like really nice stuff. I'm like, half the stuff on here isn't even BL. Like this is not yaoi, this is just like boys love, like very soft, no smut boys love. Like why is this in this section with like hentai drawings, really? And then they also had like people cosplaying, and it was so funny. They had a sign with the cosplay booth where they were like, yeah, so I will step on you for $5. No, $10. I will step on you for $5. I will sit on you for $30. Like just stuff like that. It's like, I'll step on you. I will like blow you a kiss. I will take a photo. I will make a hagyo face at the photo at like your camera, and you can take a picture. And then they were like selling that. I was like, you know what? Get that bag. I only ever saw that once. Yeah, it was like a group of like cosplayers, and then they had their like little booth set up with their username handles and their OnlyFans and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, cool, Patreon stuff, nice. Yeah, a lot of R18 stuff, and I was like, whoa, cool. They were loud though. Oh my god, like they had a stage back there, and you could hear them across the hall. They were screaming, and I don't know what they were doing because I was like at the booth like half the time. But a part of me was like, what are they doing? But I was talking to another artist later on, and they were like, yeah, I went in there, and they were doing like a bunch of cool things. There was like an auction. There was like at one point they started singing. They had like a band come in, and they were singing like anime openings. And then I guess they had like a risque show, like boudoir stuff like that. And then apparently they had a live shibari performance, and I was like, why are they tying people up on stage? You go in to the R18 section, and they were like, yeah, there's like a giant crocheted dick, you know? Like 8 inches tall, like, wow, fun, okay. Would you... I was like, I see, okay. But yes, this is a photo of one of the alleys. No, the place was huge. The place was like 10 times as like large as the average convention center probably in Canada. It was a lot bigger than the one I went to last time. Or the first time I went to a con. So that's just photo, yeah. And then I took some pictures of people's merch. So like this person was selling these little cute shrimp for $10. I don't know, I didn't get it because it's $10, but look at them. Aren't they cute? Like, look. I wanted it so bad. I was like, oh, they're so cute, but at the same time, I don't know if I would buy something for that price. What was wild is this octopus that costs $1. And these crocheted bears for $2. Yeah, the octopus is $1. I'm like, why is that so cheap? And when you go look at the shrimp, why are the small shrimp $5? How cheap, it was so sad. Hello, Runo VT, welcome. Hi, hello, hi Raiders. Hello. Hi Raiders, welcome in. Hi, how are you? Yay, Raid, welcome. I can't hear alerts right now, but I see you guys in chat. Hello, welcome in Raiders. How are you? My name is Kyokamiya. I am a Songbird Tengu VTuber, and I am telling chat about my con that I went to last week. Or this weekend? Last weekend? I don't know. Hi Reno, how are you? I'm gonna give you a shout out, hold up. What were you up? Oh, sorry, I just hit my water bottle. How are you? What are you up to? Mafala got to go start my day. Yeah, good for you. Go start your day off with something great. Do something fun. Get yourself a treat if you haven't. Treat yourself. What are you up to? You were playing World of Final Fantasy. Ooh, I've never heard of that game. What is that game about? Is it like online Final Fantasy? What is that game about? That sounds fun. It's a monster capture Final Fantasy game. Ooh, so like Pokemon. Don't get her started. I want to know. Much like Pokemon Digimon. Ah, I see. That's cool. That sounds fun. It's a single player RPG, kind of like Pokemon. Ooh, so like you catch part monsters. Also, thank you for the follow, Mute Mayo and Warped TP. That sounds fun. That sounds very fun. I don't know. I haven't played Final Fantasy. I know I have the recent reboot, and I have not started because I heard that game takes forever. Work together with the Final Fantasy Pro Tags. Ooh. Okay, the only thing I know about Final Fantasy is like Sephiroth and what's his name? Cloud and like Aerith, and like I know the characters. There is an online one, the critically acclaimed. Have you heard of the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy 14? No, 15? Wait, 16? X IV wait, I can't read your numerals. 1 before 5, that's a 4, that's a 14. Yeah, I know. I can read, wow. I can. I know that meme. I know that meme. Even though I don't play Final Fantasy, I know. Hello. Look at these cool shrimp. But yeah, you know more women numerals? Women numerals. Women numerous. Women numerous. Ah, yes, I know women numerous. I know so many. One of them is right here. I know women numerous. One of them's right here. No, wait. Roman numerals. I know up to 6, yes. Autocorrect has something against me, no worries. But, honestly, Roman numerals are pretty simple. I'd probably know up to like... Well, actually, I think after like 50, it starts getting complicated. I forgot what letter that is. 100? 50? No, 100 is like XX. I'm not really sure. 6 isn't real, only up to 4 exist. True. Sorry, Final Fantasy 16. You don't exist. Final Fantasy 16 doesn't exist, unfortunately. I want to learn crochet. I want to learn how to make these. These are so cute. You got like these like, oh, you can't see them. Look at the really cute like clams on the side. Aw. Gamers join in me and clicking the funny follow button. Thank you for the follow, Runo. Thank you for the raid once again. If you need to go, you know, refresh yourself, hydrate, go to the bathroom, feel free to. Yeah, same thing with raiders. I know, like, I don't know how long you were streaming for, but drink water, hydrate, eat food, get snack. Same, but I don't got the patience. Ooh, true. I'm willing to learn. That was one of the ideas I actually had for a stream, by the way. I was like, you know, I should do like a hand cam. I should be like a grandma, and I should just start knitting. I just hand cam knitting, and that's it. I don't know why this thing keeps disconnecting. It says unregistered. It is registered. Runo does sewing? Do you do cosplay? Ah, hi cat. Oh my gosh. Hello cat, how are you? Do you do cosplay? Do you cosplay? You cosplay? Hell yeah! What characters have you cosplayed? I cosplayed once, and the only character I cosplayed was what's her name? I forgot her name. Cruel Tepes from Owari no Seraph. Yes, that's her name. I keep forgetting her name. Cruel Tepes from Owari no Seraph. She's very cute, very cool. I love her outfit. Like her cosplay was so simple. It's like a dress and then her like long cape in the back and then a skirt. I cosplayed a lot. I've been going to cons for like the 12-ish. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. This is my second con and I was an Artist Alley helper. I was there as a artist. Well, not an artist, I was not drawing, but I was there to help other people sell their merch as like a backup for another artist, because I was asked, they were like, hey, I'm going to this con and I'm going by myself, would you like to help? And I said sure, and then we took turns just kind of walking around while the other person watched the booth. So, a lot of fun being like the person selling merch. Although I will say it's like very competitive between like being like watching people come up to your booth and being like, come on. They just stare at they stare at the art and they go, wow, that's so pretty, and then they walk away and you're like, oh my god. That's how it goes. But it's a lot of fun. I got to see so many cool things. Selling merch is on my bucket list. I'm an artist too, but it's a lot of work to draw up all the prints and keychains. Exactly. I also draw too. And I take forever to draw. I don't have enough time to like sit down and draw like a lot, but like most of the stuff that I do is for my own channel, so I don't have time to make I don't have enough time to make like fan art and stuff, because that is what people do sell at cons, like fan art sales, right? Reno shirt is so peak. You have a shirt? Cool. I've always wanted to make like a design in like the Gamer Sup style. Also, by the way, Gamer Sup was at this con. It was a lot of fun. They had like a giant thing of Shy Lily. See, this is the one time I will ever say VTubers names on stream, okay? If anybody outside of this was like, hey, do you know self-acclaimed VTubers? This? I'm like, haha, no. This is the time I will mention streamers on stream. Also, thank you, Bat to the Rat. Very cool name. I like rats. But yes, I don't know. I don't think I included the picture that I took of the Gamer Subs booth because there were too many people in front of it and I did not want to censor the entire thing, but she was there. A giant pictures of Shy Lily were there. And I was like, oh wow, that's cool. I saw a lot of cosplayers, cosplaying VTubers, cosplaying like characters from like so many franchises. I saw a lot of merch from so many different types of like franchises. Like K-pop Demon Hunters was very popular. The concept artist Chuenjia was at this con. How packed was the con? The place was huge. Like look at this picture. This is just a corner of the con. It was pretty busy actually, but most people were at the exhibitors section in the far right, I want to say. It was huge. So yes, there was a lot of people, but at the same time the place was very large, so I don't really think you could tell how like busy it was because how large it was. But yes, they had a video game tournament, they had voice actors do like fan signings, they had cosplayers do fan signings, they had space for cars. There was like a car show inside here. Was it Anime Expo? No, this is Anime Matsuri in Texas, Houston. It was not Anime Expo. I wish I went to Anime Expo. I heard that place was so fun. I want to go to Anime Expo. Also, by the way, if you go as an artist or like Artist Alley and you have that tag, you know how much power it gives you? Fellow Texan? No, I'm not Texan. I've never been to Texas before this, but I saw so many people with Buc-ee's merch and I saw so many people with like stuff. And I visited Heb. I've never heard of Heb before this. I was like, wow, this place is cool. Hello, hi Emmy, how are you? You are Texan. It was fun. Also, Texas is huge. I was in Houston. I'm like, wow. You drive across Texas, 5-hour drive, minimum. Oh my god. I'm doing good. How are you? I'm good. I'm talking about the con that I went to last weekend, and I'm showing chat pictures and talking about it. Yes, these are the shrimp I saw. Very cute. Buc-ee's is a religion here? Oh my gosh. All I see is like social media videos and people talking about like, I went to Buc-ee's. I visit like it's like a tourist destination essentially. It's like people who don't know what a Costco is going to Costco in another country, but like it's Buc-ee's. It's a giant gas station. It's very cool. Yeah, there's mushroom. And then look, I saw these bags. This is in the exhibitor section. They had these really cute Miku bags and like lanyards and stuff. I was like, oh, that's so nice. I want to get like a cat bag like this. This is like more other stuff. Although the stuff that they were selling was kind of expensive, so I didn't get anything, but it was very cute. This is the cosplay section that they had set up. I think behind this setup there was more like cosplay sets, they had different colors. Like they had one with red, they had one that was like dark. This one was like all white, and then you see people in the corner like taking pictures with the set. It was very cool. Oops. We're not getting to that section yet. For real, I remember I went on a road trip to Arkansas. It took us 14 hours to leave Texas. Oh my god. Yeah, Texas is way too large. I remember that one post that was saying like, if you take the entirety of Texas and you put it over Europe, Texas is bigger than the entirety of Europe. And you're like, wow, that's fun. That's cool. Why is Texas so large? And then you have people coming from Europe to like visit here, and you're like, oh, like Texas in particular, and they're like, oh my god, why is everywhere in the US so like far? And then people go from the US who drive a lot, go to Europe, and they're like, wow, I crossed 3 different countries in an hour. That's how small Europe is. So very cool. Yeah, they had this section for cosplayers to take pictures. They had, oh, this is the gamer subs table, but there were so many people, so. It's hard to see. My V guards, yeah. Have a good stream until then. I'll be back in an hour. Sure, yeah. Hi, oh my god, Chimera, how are you? It's been forever. Well, maybe like a couple days. Hello, how are you? It's been a while. Hello again. I need to refill my grandma's ashes, wow. I cannot commute the European mind. I remember seeing a post of a girl talking about her family and how they see their dad twice a year because he works far away. He worked 45 minutes away. That's driving across town. Some people drive an hour to work. Some people drive that time to work. You know the time it takes for me to get to my school? An hour and a half. For some people, that's too far. Been busy working, job training. Ooh, congratulations. Nice. How are you? I'm good. I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun traveling. I'm catching up on sleep, but it's going well. Say 1.5 hours on the bus. Oh my god. Public transportation takes a while. Although I will say that the travel I take to get to school is long only solely because traffic. Like traffic takes forever. But yeah. Also, by the way, at this con, I have never seen so many dudes in dresses than ever I have in my entire life. I was like, there are so many dudes in dresses, and I'm like, this is so unfair because why do they have such nice legs? Why do they have such nice legs? It's so sad. I'm like, oh my god. How dare they? Like, I saw like a guy in Hatsune Miku cosplay. I saw a dude in like I saw like 5 people. 5 guys in maid dresses. Lost potential, exactly. I'm like, man, you gotta sell pictures. they're that great. Like, you got such nice legs. Holy moly, dude. Glad to hear you're doing great. Yeah, I'm glad to hear you're doing great too. Yes, life is always important. Yes. I'm glad. But I saw so many dudes in like really cool outfits and stuff. Like girls were cosplaying, guys were cosplaying. I actually saw a lot of alien stage cosplays. Not so much K-pop Demon Hunters because it was a little too early, but like I said, I did meet the artist, the concept artist for K-pop Demon Hunters and Into the Spider-Verse, Chu Wenjia. I spoke to her a little bit, and I got her business card, which I will show at the very end. I took a picture of all the stuff that I got at the con. Yes, this was Gamer Subs. I just walked by. On Saturday, I basically sped walk the entirety of the entire con. I went up and down every single alley. Every single table I walked by, I was like, I have to go, I have to look at everything. So I didn't stop at any booths, I just walked up and down every single section. Like I went from Hull wall to wall of this entire con. That's how like long it took. You know how long it took me? 2 hours. 2 and probably a little bit more hours. It took me forever to walk the entire thing, to just to go up and down and to look at like stuff walking by. It took forever. But I took a couple pictures. This is like this is Gamer Subs. That's a lot. The place was huge. This is the exhibitors hall. So Gamer Subs was in the exhibitors hall. This is just, I think this is Otaku Outlet. I think. I don't know. They had like, these are basically exhibitors or resellers. So they were selling things like plushies, anime figurines, manga, I think games? I'm not really sure. Headphones, like anime, like merchandise. A lot of merchandise stuff. And then this is random cardboard cutout of Aventurine that I took a picture of because I thought it was funny. As well as in the background there was like a what's it called? Not a gacha machine, it's a claw machine. That was cool. Also, I took a picture of this because this is the artist Melon Bread, and I was like, oh, I recognize their art. That's so cute. I love Melon Bread. Melon Bread's cute. Melon Bread's art's lovely. I love their stuff. But yeah, that was Otaku Outlet. This is more Otaku Outlet stuff. A lot of Miku merch at this con. Miku was very popular. There was what's the bug Miku called? Like, you know the one with the robot part? She's like a robot bug kind of looking thing. There was somebody in a full cosplay of that. I didn't take a picture because they were really far away, but I saw them from a distance and I was like, holy moly, that's so cool. They were like 8 feet tall. Their feet were strapped to these like huge mechanical like parts that they had to essentially slide across the ground to walk. And then they had like their hands in these like, you know, the claw things that Miku has. And then their face, and they were wearing contacts. It was awesome. I was like, holy moly, that's a lot of effort and dedication. But some people were going all out for their cosplay. I saw like a human, handmade, hand-sewn, you could tell it had a lot of detail, Cookie Run pure vanilla cookie cosplay. And they went all out with like the white lashes, with the makeup, with the wig, and the whole dress and the staff, and it was really well made. Yeah, Cookie Run Kingdom. I saw a couple of those. I saw like 2 pyramid heads. I saw somebody cosplaying as the entire group of like Avengers. I saw like a skull face from Halo. I saw a couple Call of Duty cosplayers. What else did I see? I saw like at least 50 Mikus throughout the entirety of it. Different types of Mikus too. Like there was the Strawberry Kingdom Miku. There was the I saw the Shrimp Miku. Somebody was Shrimp Miku. Somebody was Sakura Miku. There was a couple of Sakura Mikus. There was like Mikus of like all kinds. It was really cool. And then this is the signings for voice actors. I don't know who these voice actors are because I don't follow like English voice actors. I know Japanese voice actors, but I don't know English ones. But some of them I do recognize the photos of, like Gumshoe over there, or like the Pokemon nurses, and like I recognize the characters, but they're the English voice actors for them, so I don't know who these people are because I only know like Japanese VAs. That was cool. They were there the entire time. Also, fun fact, right next to these guys on the same area, you had anime pickleball, and the only thing that made it anime pickleball, I was like, what is anime about anime pickleball? It was a net and the rackets on the ground with the balls and stuff, like just on the ground, and then the floor was just some random anime characters on just the floor of the rink, but it didn't even take up the entire space. It's just a giant mat on the floor with anime characters on it. I'm like, what makes this anime pickleball? And they also apparently had wrestling. they had like cosplayer wrestling. So you had like cosplayers dressed as like characters wrestling each other, and people were like betting, and it was great. I didn't see it personally, but I heard other people talking about it, and apparently one of the people who was like wrestling, she's like, it was like a girl. She was like a very tiny like person. And apparently she won. She was cosplaying, I forgot exactly what she was cosplaying, but I heard people saying it was a lot of fun. And just anime wrestling, you had anime pickleball. Anime, like, it's not shot put, like when you toss beanbags into a hole, they had that too. I was like, what's anime about this? Also, Fuamoko. There was a lot of people walking around with these like Fuamoko balloons. I'm pretty sure they came from this place, but they had like this like pillow area that you could sit down on and like take pictures. So that's what some people were doing. It was cool. They had Mesmerizer Miku that you could buy, and they had like Teto, and then look over here. You got like the Miku from Mesmerizer with the face, you know, like the crazy face. They had that too. That was really cute. And then Sakura Miku up here. Yeah, Teto. I actually saw a couple Teto cosplayers. It was fun. Over here, oh sorry, I forgot to censor this dude's face. We had Fern and Freyrin, and I don't know who this character is on the side. I'm sorry, I don't know who that is. Somebody in like a green onesie. And this was cool. They were selling like plushies. What was over here? Just like a Freyrin cosplayer, and then somebody with like a leek on their head. I saw this person actually, like maybe a couple times throughout the con, wearing the same like headpiece. So this was still in the exhibitors hall selling like various stuff. Also in the background, oh, sorry, the cropping on this is a little weird. You had the car people in the background, the car show. I think it's in the next photo. Yeah, cars. I talked to two people who had like car art, like they drew anime characters with cars, and they were very passionate about cars, and I was like talking to them about it. One person, their name's Ignition, I talked to them a little bit. It's spelled like Qingnition or something like that. I'm not really sure. But they were very cool. They apparently 3D blend, like they use Blender and use 3D for all of their art, and then they paint over it. And I'm like, that's insane. Like you what? You learn Blender just for the sake of 3D modeling Gundam things. Like it was just full on Gundam and cars. Just 3D replicas of things. But yes, they had a car show. That's how big this place was, like a lot of cars. They had one car that was all decked out with like stickers and stuff. It was very cool. I know nothing about cars, but they were telling me about the cars in this area, and I was like, yeah, did you see the car show? And they were like, yes, do you like cars? And I'm like, I know nothing about cars. And they're like, well, you should check out the Toyota blah blah blah, and then this other car blah blah blah. And I'm like, I cannot tell the difference between these cars. Like I look at this thing and I'm like, yes, that car's a blue car, that car's blue, that car's red. This looks like a car. Yes, it's a car. Yeah, people over here are really into like car. Sorry, my desk is shaking and it's causing my keychain to move. But that was my experience. I was just like, yeah, car is cool, fun. But this place was huge. This is the gamer section. Wait. Yeah, they had this screen where they were playing Tekken, I think it was Tekken. And then over here they had a bunch of little PCs, and people were playing like other types of like games. They were doing like competitive games. I think they had a tournament going on. some kind of tournament. I'm not sure what kind of tournament, but they had like a little gaming section down here. So a lot of people were in the gaming section to watch the tournament, so there wasn't a lot of people on Friday. Most people were down by the exhibitor section. And then you had a lot of people selling like this kind of stuff. So weapon replicas, like plastic swords, a lot of merch. And yeah, just stuff like that, like guns, swords, a lot of cool stuff. There was this section with a claw machine, and they had Labubus over there. They got Labubus in the claw machine thing. I didn't check it out, I just walked by and I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. They've got a whole trailer in here with the claw machine. That was fun. They had anime body pillows. They had the anime body pillows. Like, look at them. Look at that. You got Bernice and Astra and Jane Doe and Camellia and Herta and all these characters. In the 18 plus section, they were naked, but they also had like, do you see the booba? So they were naked, and then they had like these plush inserts, like silicone padding on the pillowcase itself, so that the boobs or the guys would have a bulge that would stand out, that you could actually squish. Like, it wasn't flat, it was like, it had a squish to it, like it was protruding. Like, those body pillows had boobs. I was like, oh wow, I've never seen that before in a body pillow. Think of like a mouse pad, but with like a booba, you know? I was like, wow. Carithia? I don't know who that is. And then you can get like a mystery bag. They had like random characters. The blonde one at top? This one? This one? Also, guys, look, it's my twin. It's my twin. My friend was like, you should get that body pillow, because that's my twin. And I was like, I don't know. Also, we got Alan Joe. Yeah, my twin. They had a lot of characters. Like Silver. And then you had the dudes. You can't leave out the dudes. Oh my god, Boot Hill. And who are these guys? I don't know who these guys are. Who are these guys? Let me... They don't look like Love and Deep Space characters. They just look like... I don't know what they are. Yeah, more Genshin characters. Why the heck is Adventuring just right in the middle of these Genshin dudes? Perhaps they're from anime? I don't know, maybe. I don't recognize them either. You got Farina. I don't know who this is. Is this a Wuwa character or is this Genshin? This might be Skirk. I don't recognize the newer characters. Fei Xiao, I think? And her... I don't know. I don't recognize some of these characters. Yeah, that was this section, body pillows. Oh, and then I got dinner. This was, I believe, Saturday night. So all of that was from Saturday. And then I got ramen. Because I've been craving ramen for like the longest time, and I was like, I really want ramen. So I got, this is mine, by the way, this is mine. I got black garlic tonkatsu, and then this over here was my friends. They got spicy tonkatsu. Like, tonkatsu red is a spicy version. So I got the garlic one because I was like, garlic. Tonkatsu. I really wanted ramen. Also, this is the 18 plus section. I did not take a picture of the parts further inwards, obviously. It was a lot of boobs, I will say. It was like everywhere you look, you turn your head this way, boobs. You turn your head this way, boobs. And like a lot of yeah, booba, naked booba actually, like titties, like with the nipples, you know. And also like down there too, you know, like completely naked. Like you got more naked women ever, like, than you've ever seen in your entire life than you would on like the face of like an eki manga page. Like it was filled. Like every single person had these really tall displays. Can you like look, like right here, like this many back to back of naked women, but imagine that on a stand like 10 feet tall. It was just back to back to back posters and prints and body pillows and just naked women. Paradise. It was a lot of boobs. I was like, wow. I couldn't even look at any of them for longer than like a couple of seconds because everywhere I looked I was like I was like, oh my god, wow. Also, by the way, look at this dude. they had this dude chained up. He I don't know what they were doing to this guy. I don't know who this is. I think he's from New Carnival. I don't know for sure, but they had this guy on a leash. I think he's from New Carnival. He looks like the art style kind of reminds me of New Carnival. He might be Quincy? I don't know. You gotta look it up. Maybe like scan him. But he was on a dog leash, and they had a bed, and they had a dog bowl with dog treats. Look at this. They had dog treats for this guy. I'm like, he's not even a dog boy. He's just a shirtless anime dude. Like, what is this doing here? And then they had like manga books. Manga on the shelf. So this is the BL corner. Honestly, the BL corner wasn't that bad. Like the titles in this section were not, these are not 18 plus manga yaoi books. This is like the tamest BL ever. Why is this in here? Also, these are old. These are like the oldest mangas I've ever seen. Like, why are they so old school? What is this? We've got, look at the old art school. Ancient. The Queen's Knight. Like, that's shoujo. Ultimate Venus. Like, this is this is like early 2000s, 90s. Yeah, like 90s manga romance shoujo in the BL section. Excuse me? Excuse me, why you got such old anime in here? Hello? Such old manga? They don't print these anymore. But yes, this section was for people to read. So they had like carpets on the ground for people who wanted to read. Like, look at this, Bride of the Water God. This is so old. You got Mary Puri. Oh my god, Oran High School Host Club? Dang. What is this? Nephilia Mugen Spiral. I'm surprised they didn't have like X 1999 Clamp. But they have a lot of other series from characters. I'm surprised. I was like, I thought I'd see other stuff. But no. Also, they had the gay ship tournament. I am so mad about this, by the way. Look at this. Look. Over here, we have Ash and AG, right? Versus the recent BL that everybody's been talking about with the freaks, you know, like they freaky, one of them's a monster, the summer Hikaru died. I understand the Ashen AG1, okay? This is tragic yaoi. All of these are tragic yaoi. I don't know why, but tragic yaoi always wins. So we've got Hunter x Hunter versus Rei Langa from Skate Infinity. Gilliwan Gone won. I don't know why, but they picked older ships that won. Obviously, I guess because this is the R18 section and the kids who have voted for Ivan Till are not old enough to know the lore behind of. They were not there when 2016 happened, and they kissed and they got engaged because season 2 of Yuri on Ice came out after 5 years, and everyone was like, yeah, they got married. They're engaged. It's canon. So yes, they beat Ivan Till because these guys are just, one of them's dead. And then I am so mad about this, by the way. Why did Gojo Satoru win over Kagehina? I'm so impressed. What is this? You know how much longer Haikyuu has been around since this? So what is this? Why? Who voted for that? What is this? And then over here we got Naruto and Sasuke versus I actually don't know who these I think this is 7? No, down here is number 9. I don't know what anime that is. Just Naruto and Sasuke won, obviously, because they were like the first, one of the first ships that ever existed. Like probably around the time of like when Spock and Star Trek was like a thing. Like when people were shipping and making fanfics of like Star Trek. And that's how old Naruto is. So I'm not surprised that Naruto won. And then you got these. I don't know who these top 2 characters are either. And then you got Kingdom Hearts. That's so funny. I don't know who these 2 characters are at the top. I don't know that one. And then we have number 6 and Mafiu and... I forgot the dude's name. I'm not surprised Mafiu won because Given is very popular. Number 6 is a little bit older and more obscure. And then we have Evangelion and Link Click. I don't know why this won. I guess it's because it's old and a bunch of people who were in this section were probably a lot older. So maybe it just won because of nostalgia reasons versus like Link Click, Doomed Yaoi. And then we were brought back to like the final face-off between these. And I don't know who won because I didn't go back inside to check, but I don't know. I don't know who won. No, this is the gay ship tournament. And also, look at this cat. There was this person, this is Sunday. On Sunday, this lady was walking around and she had a cat in the basket, and I was like, this is such a cute cat. I love calicos. My second favorite cat pattern over tuxedo cats. Like, I love black cats with the white paws and like the little white face. And then like the little, when they have like a white tummy. I love black and white cats, but I also do like calicos. That's my second favorite kind of cat. And look at this, look at such a polite boy. Such a good kid. Just a nice polite young man. Look at the cute face. Oh, I love calicos. I love cats. Very polite. Also, when she was talking to me, the cat halfway through just started climbing out of the carrier onto like her shoulder, and then she had to like cuddle it like a baby because the cat wanted to come out and explore. And I was like, oh baby. This cat was shedding so much hair. The moment it climbed out, I could see little bits of hair just flying off of the cat. I was like, holy moly, this cat's shedding in real time. like a turret, you know, like how turrets shoot bullets and it's just like like this cat was shedding hair. I was like, oh my god, just passively, just a passive ability to shed hair, like insane. Also, by the way, this is my haul. So yes, anime, oh, I gotta zoom in. Artist Alley, Anime Matsuri. I use this badge to talk to so many artists on the last day. So when you're on the last day, a lot of artists will come by and be like, hey, by the way, I'm at this booth. If there's anything you would like to do an art trade for, I will give you stuff. So I will give you, some people were giving stuff away from free because they didn't want to take it home. Some people were giving away like trades. So it's like, oh, I'll take something from your booth and then like you can take anything you want from mine. I'm just trying to get rid of it. So if you're an artist and you have the Artist Alley badge and you know people and you talk to people and you walk around and you're friendly with them, they will just give you things. So all of this stuff I got for free. I love being social. I love touching grass. I got all this stuff for free. I made friends with a lot of these artists. Actually, I got a lot of their contacts and I was like, hey, I love your art. Are you the artist? Do you draw? And they're like, yeah, how long have you been going to cons? When's your next con? How are you doing? Like, what are you doing over here? Is it chill? How are you doing? And so they would just talk to you. And then you chat with them for like a little bit, like a couple of minutes or like maybe like 30 minutes about like their life and their situations. And you're like, oh, this is so cool. And then I bring up the fact I like slide in. If anyone's watching and they're an artist, I'm so sorry, but it's not for ulterior purposes. I am an artist. I like just talking to people who are also artists. But I would also mention, I'm like, hey, yeah, I'm also boothing. I show them my badge. I'm like, look, I am also here as a fellow Artist Alley participant. And they're like, oh, cool, where is your booth? And I tell them, and they're like, oh, cool, I will stop by to check out your booth, but if there's anything you would like from my booth, feel free to have anything. And I'm like, hell yeah. So, this is the stuff I got. I got this Frey ring keychain. It's reversible. It's got 2 sides. I got this Chidori keychain, which got 2 sides. I got a couple business cards from people. This is Katsai, which is the K-pop Demon Hunters concept artist. Her name is Lee Wenjia. That this was her booth. I talked with her. I got this really cute, I don't know her name because I don't play Blue Archive, but I got it because it's funny. This is Please Don't Yell at Me mood. I got that one. I got this sticker, Magikarp, and I got a bunch of other stickers that were prizes for stamp rallies, as well as this Honkai Star Rail tarot card pack that the person who was selling these was giving away because they brought too many and they were trying to get rid of them. But the art on this is so pretty, by the way. All of this is gold foil. Like, do you see the gold on the edges? The sides of the cards were gold foil. The cards are gold foil, so this is part of the Star Rail tarot pack. And then these are the artists, if you want to, I don't know, flip this somehow. Take a screenshot, flip it upside down, take a look at the artist. Very cool. Check out the project. They're on Twitter. Also, this Hatsune Miku, Water Miku keychain. All the Pokemikus were there. And so yeah, that was it. Also, there was this lady I was talking to. She had a really cool tattoo. She gave me her artist tattoo business card. She's like, yeah, this is the artist that did my tattoo. And I was like, that's so cool. That's so pretty. I was contemplating. I was like talking about her tattoo like for 30 minutes. I was like, it's so really nice. And she's like, yeah, it took me about like 5 sessions of like 6 hours each. And this is the name of the type of tattoo it is. It's called like a fine line color. And this is the artist. But if you're not local to like this area, you can reach out to the artist anyways and see like what, if they recommend any artists in the place that you live. And I was like, wow, that's so cool. I don't know. I don't have any tattoos, but if I ever wanted to get one in the future, I think I will hit them up. But yes, this is all of my pictures that I took. This is everything. And very fun. I had a great time. Very, very cool. I met a lot of artists. I talked to a lot of them. Very interesting, like, perspectives between people, like, saying stuff versus, like, going as a regular attendee. I know, like, if you went as a regular attendee, like, I think that they're to, like, kind of be like, oh, are you here to buy something? Also, we had a couple of other people who are artist allies come by to, like, buy stuff. So, very cool. Very fun. Very nice to talk to people and be like, hey, how what you up to? Is it also, I think a lot of artists are really appreciative that you stop by to talk to them, because like half the time at this con, you're sitting there as an artist, you're like, I'm bored out of my mind. Somebody please come talk to me. That's super cool. Yeah, it was. So I think a lot of artists were just really happy to have somebody to talk to. The con did have a lot of people who were proxies, so the artist wasn't there, but they had somebody that they hired to sit at their table to sell their merch. So this con did have a couple of like, maybe like 30-40% were proxies. There were a couple artists, but a lot of people I did talk to were not the artists, but I did talk to some. I met one person who was a proxy who was really, really nice. We bonded over a lot of things in common, and also our booth neighbors were pretty cool. I made friends with the person to our left. They were a cosplayer, and they were selling arts, but their style was like a very different from ours. And then to our right was like somebody who made their own board game and stuff, and that was interesting. So we had people selling like really interesting stuff at Artist Alley. Yes, that was my trip. That's where I went. It was a lot of fun. It was so tiring though, because it was just constantly like, wake up at 8 a.m., walk. We had to walk to the con. The Airbnb that we stayed at was 15 minutes away by walk. So we had to walk in the heat, Texas heat, all the way to the con. And all the way back, both ways, there and back. So in the morning, like 9 a.m. walking there, con starts 10 o'clock, and then the doors officially open at 10:30, and then at the end it ends at 7. Ends at 7, you clean up, you walk back home, go get dinner, leave. By the time you come back, it's like 10, you get ready for bed. By the time you're in bed trying to sleep, it's like 1 a.m. It's like 1 a.m. and then you gotta wake up again in like 6 hours. It's great. It was fun. Very how do you say this? It's not tiring. It was a lot, like, I didn't feel tired at all the entire time I was there, because I was just, there was just so much to see and so much to do. But when I got home, and like the moment I went to bed and I woke up the next day, I was like, oh, I gotta go to work in the morning. It's so tiring. This sucks. I don't know how people do it. People who go to cons regularly and people who like also do this as a full-time job, which I did talk to a lot of artists at their booths. A lot of them don't do this full-time. A lot of them have actually, they do this as their side job. They're like, oh yeah, I work full-time, but I also at the same time, like, I do this too, just for like my hobby purposes. And I'm like, dang, that's dedication. I'm like, no, I just stream. There's some people out there who make it work. Like, they draw all their stuff, they get their merch, they travel to cons, and they work full-time, and they use their days off to just travel to cons. I'm like, wow, that's impressive, because oh my god, that's insane. I did meet a couple of streamers and VTubers when I was there, because I would talk to some people, and then they would mention offhand, they're like, oh yeah, I'm a streamer, and I'd be like, oh, I'm a VTuber too, and then we bonded over that too, because I was like, I'm a streamer, what's your handle? I'll follow you on Twitter. So I followed a bunch of people, I met a bunch of cool people. One of them in particular I met who was like he was walking around streaming the event IRL, and that was pretty interesting. We were talking a little bit about like streaming in particular, like as a career. That was cool. I talked to artists who were trying to make it their career, like selling art in general, and like how the creative sphere is currently. So a lot of like, I don't want to say industry talk, but like a lot of like behind the curtains, like behind the veil kind of stuff of people who are struggling or like trying to make it work, and it's like really difficult, but also at the same time very, 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 very cool. Like I said, on the Discord, like you see people out there who are like, you see them on Twitter, you see them through streams, and then they have like such a huge following and they're like, wow, they look super cool and intimidating. But then when you actually like talk to somebody and you don't know who they are until they actually like show you, and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm this on like on Twitch, I'm this on Twitter, and I have like, you look at their profile and they're like, they're so casual about it. You're like, yeah, by the way, here's my artist handle. You click on their profile and they're like a huge artist. Like they draw like massively super popular fan art and stuff. But they're like a super popular streamer and you're like, oh wow. Oh wow. And then you talk to them and you don't know that, but they're just some dude and you're like, oh, that's so fun. That's so cool. Like these people are people too. That's really nice. That's really cool. And I'm just here like, hi. I'm just here. They're like, oh wow, you're so cool. Wow, yay. And I'm like, no. No, not really. I'm just a little guy. I'm just a little guy. I think everybody there was a lot cooler than me. Everybody's got so much like, everybody's got something going for them, I think. Whether they're like super energetic, whether they have like super cool people skills, whether they have like super cool like art drawing talent. One of my profs was a Rockstar dev and I did not realize. You know, I met the game dev. I met a couple of game devs. I met a couple of like really popular VTubers and I met a couple of like really cool artists, like really popular artists. Like, you know, the artists that you see who are part of like major projects and stuff like that. I met like a bunch of them. They were very cool people. I was like, holy moly, I'm like, this is so cool. This is great. I got free stuff from them. I talked to them, I was like, hell yeah. Rockstar. That's insane, because you never know what people do on the side unless you actually talk to them. That's kind of fun. And it goes to show, you know, you never know. You never know. Also, I met a lot of, so when I went to cons, like, I had to wake up really early in the morning because I like to, when I go out in public, I like to dress up. I like to like dress up and like do stuff because like in my day-to-day life, I don't really do that. I like wear normal. Like I wear my standard uniform. Like I wear the same thing every day. So when I go out to like events and stuff and whenever I'm traveling, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna bring what my mom calls my weirdo clothes. She's like, yes, your quirky weirdo clothes. I'm like, it's not weird, it's literally not weird, it's just like it's my style. And she calls it weird, but I brought all of those and then I had to wake up at 8 AM in the morning to like put it on and do my makeup and all that, and it was fun. But I love meeting girls at the con and complimenting their outfit, and then they would look at you and be like, oh my god, I love your outfit's so cool, and yay. That was really nice. I love that about women. Or like when I would see people cosplaying, I'm like, oh my god, I love your cosplay, I recognize that cosplay, and they're like, thank you. Stuff like that. That was one of the most fun things I enjoy about cons too, is like seeing people be creative and like do cool things. Another one was an Ubisoft dev. Ooh, did you know? I know somebody who used to work at Ubisoft. They were not a dev, an art director for Ubisoft, but they no longer work there. But yes, I know somebody who does. Yeah, they were a art dev for Ubisoft, and they left that company because eventually, like real talk, eventually at a certain point when you get into the art scene, once you reach a certain point of like doing well, the less art you do, the bigger you get. Half of your time will be on major projects for companies and NDAs that you will not be able to post online, and the less you will actually be drawing, the more you will be managing and outsourcing. You realize very quickly, the larger you get, that the harder it is to essentially be creative. You're creative in another sense, but you start running a business rather than just creating solely for fun. So when I was speaking to a lot of these artists, that was something that they've mentioned to me, like especially the larger artists. They were like, yeah, I rarely have time to draw. I want to work on personal projects, but half my time is just spent managing projects. And while it's a good thing, and you know, it brings in the money and it brings in like the work that you do, and it's way better, a lot of it's spent outsourcing. But they did tell me that a lot of like, they wish that there was a second one of them so that they could have one of them manage stuff and the second one that they could have time to themselves to draw and create. Because you realize that a lot of things can be outsourced, but the one thing that you can't outsource is management, because you have to manage the project yourself. But anything else creative, you can outsource. Like, you need an artist for a project, you outsource that. You need somebody to edit stuff together, you outsource that. But you can't outsource management, because you have to be the one to be like, oh, okay, I need this person to do this, I need this person to do that, I need this person to do that. And then you're constantly like on people to do work. That's like the number one thing about management, is to be like, hey, this is due soon, hello, chop chop, can I get this done? I need a works in progress, like, where are you on this project? It's just a lot of herding sheep, especially in the creative field. It's very difficult to get that in the first place, because, you know, people take time to draw, people have life circumstances that pop up. So the thing that is the most common when it comes to this is just herding sheep. It's not even like the directing part that's hard, it's just making sure that things are running smoothly and the less time you have to do things that you actually like want to do. So that's just something like I learned through talking with people here, talking with like a lot of major artists, people who work on big projects. Yes, very cool. So just something to point out if anybody who wants to be like, oh, I want to like work on projects, I want to like do this. It's a lot of managing. It's a lot of management time and skills. Hence why some people prefer to join companies. It's a lot easier to just join a company and let somebody dedicated to managing do that. To get a manager, it's like, it's so much easier to just be like, I'm just gonna do what I like and then I'm gonna leave it to management, you know? So some people do that. Some people don't want to do that. Some people prefer to have control 100%. It depends on the person, but yeah. Very cool. That sucks. I mean, it's just how it goes. Depends on if you want to do it solely as a hobby, like if you want to do art as a hobby versus if you want to do it as a career. You gotta like frame your mindset in that way. So if you really want to go into like something and make it your career, you have to think of it like a business. If you want to do something and you want to do something for fun, you cannot approach it like solely like that. Hey Guru Boofy got boofed. Oh no! Hello, welcome in. Hello, how are you? My yeah, we're just chatting. I was showing chat pictures of the con I went to, and now we're just yapping about random stuff. I'm tired. Me too. Well, hi tired, I'm Kyo. What a mood though. It's like 1 a.m. I was telling somebody, I was like, hey, you know, hey, guess what my sleep schedule's like? I wake up at 7 a.m. and I go to bed at 2, and they were like, that's so unhealthy. And I'm like, haha. Welcome to my world. Thank you for the water break, cat. I will drink water. Honestly, that sentiment kind of resonates for a little bit, because I'm like, oh man, I want to like, I have to work on school, and then I have to work on like, I really want to start, I have a bunch of videos that I downloaded for like clipping that I have to edit into like little videos to post as shorts and stuff for YouTube and TikTok, and I have not gone around to that, even though it's been like 2 weeks. Thank you for the water break, and thank you for the posture check. I am sitting crisscross. I should probably put my feet down. At the same time, whenever I'm like, oh man, I should edit. I should work on stuff like that. Then I'm like, never mind, I wanna play the guitar. It's a great time to play the guitar. It's a great time to do literally anything but work on editing, and like when you do stuff by yourself, it's a lot of work. So kudos to people who are trying to like full-time anything in general, like whether it be art, whether it be streaming, whether it be like game development. It's a lot. Kudos to people who are doing that. I always remember saying nonsense makes no sense except dollar sense. Yeah. Boss makes $1 while I make a dime. That's why I edit on company time. Honestly, like half the time when I'm at work, I just like, I'm either napping, I make my schedule, I make my thumbnails. I haven't done that in a while. I write scripts sometimes. I'm just doing research for things that I'm looking to do in the future, like planning stuff. Like, hey, what should I do like for this? Or I'm looking up like guitar tabs or chords or how to play certain things, or like reading about random topics. Like I was reading the other day about improv. I was learning improv. I was like, oh, that's cool. Or like thinking, like reading about singing techniques, or reading about like really interesting research. I was reading a lot of blogs. Like I especially really appreciate people who still blog in 2025. I read this really cool blog the other day. Well, not the other day, like last year, about perfume, and it was a very, very niche blog. I really enjoy niche blogs in particular. This one was, I forgot the name of it, but it was a blog about a expat who, I think they were from Britain. They immigrated to Japan, and their entire blog was about being a white person in a Japanese country who's lived there since 2009, who likes perfume. And so a lot of their blog is just things that they do on a daily basis. So this person is an artist, so a lot of their stuff is about their art. They are a performance artist, and they have a persona that they dress up as and do like performances down in like underground performances for like art and stuff. So it's like theater stuff. But their main hobby that they post about on their blog is different types of perfumes and fragrances. And it's a really interesting like side of that culture, because one, they talked a lot about how perfume is not used in Japan. People in Japan prefer to use laundry scents, so if they're going to be having perfume, they prefer it to be like as a part of their clothes. So like things like scent beads are very popular in Japan because they want their clothes to smell, but they don't want to actually spray perfume on themselves because they think that it's too strong. Versus if you were to go to any other country, like in the US, perfume is actually very common. Like a lot of guys wear deodorant, a lot of guys wear cologne, women wear perfume, women wear body spray and hairspray and everything scented, and all like the different types of creams and stuff. Everything's scented. Meanwhile, if you were to go to Japan, maybe hand cream would be lightly scented, but everything's always very neutral. And it's like a difference in culture, which is why it's really interesting to read blogs, because it's like a little look into what people from other countries kind of write about their culture and what they experience, and it's like a diary. But they also do their own research, and they talk about like their personal observations or the stuff, like they talk a little bit about history, they talk a little bit about like the things that they do. So this blog was a lot of like, oh, I went to a thrift store and I found this like vintage armoire, or like I found a vintage like Prada scent from Coco Chanel from like the 80s that somebody was gifted that was never opened, but they kept the bottle in pristine condition because it was a pretty looking bottle, but they donated it because the person passed away or they just didn't want it anymore. But it's basically like an unopened bottle of this really nice perfume. And that's how like stuff is treated in Japan, because it's just ornamental. People are not going to wear perfume. So it was like a really interesting perspective. Or like another one that I found recently is of this person who is very into city pop and like old 60s to 90s enka music, as well as like basically anything related to J-pop. And they still update the blog to this day with like more modern artists. So people like Ado, people like Kuroneko, people like a lot of really well-known singers nowadays, like Mafu Mafu, like stuff that's emerged. But they also go way back in time to like the 60s, the 50s, the 40s, talking about enka singers, the history of pop in Japan, and like the popular artists like AKB47, J-idols, J-rock, J-bands. Very, very cool stuff. Or there's one blog I was also reading in particular about people doing food reviews as a blog, and I always thought that was really cool. There's a YouTube channel I watch in particular where they go to convenience stores and they pick up a bunch of food, and then they test it out and they like make little videos, but they don't talk in the videos. They just put it as like captions on the bottom, and then it's just like videos of them with like ambient background noise, and then they like show the food. You hear the rustling of the packaging, and that's basically it. And it's very nice to just look at. But there's also blogs out there where they talk about traditional foods in Japan. And it's just things like, they talk about the history of the food. They talk about like, this is a very popular snack. This is this type of mochi, for example, from this region, this prefecture. They're known for having this type of snack during this particular season. It's existed since the Edo period. They eat this for like this kind of thing that's normally commonly had with like, for example, kuzumochi, right? Kuzumochi is like boiled with like the kudzu plant, and then they take it and they grind it up into like a powder, and then they mix it with water and sugar, and then they cook it over a stove, and it becomes like this translucent kind of like clear block. Or there's like a lot of different types of like sweets in Japan that are really cool. So this blog was dedicated mostly to sweets, but it's also occasionally they would talk about like foods. I don't remember the name of that blog, but it was actually really cool to like read through. I mean, a little bit of it was in Japanese, but they were like translated to English because they were like, oh, I just want to share foods with like the world, which is like, I also enjoy this one YouTube channel called Sweets Tales. It ran in Japan on their it was a documentary that ran in Japan in like 2010-ish. It was really, really old, like a really long time ago. But they published the entire series. Every single episode is like 3 to 4 minutes, very, very short on YouTube. They posted every single episode and they stopped updating it. But it's very, very cool to just check out that video. I don't think I've seen every single one out there. I've just watched one or two once in a while, and I'm like, this is really nice. I should watch the whole series. I think I could watch the whole series in like an hour, but I have not gotten to, because I spend most of my time doing other things. I get distracted. I'll be like, you know what I should do? You know what I should do? I'm gonna draw, and then I open up like a video, and I'm gonna go watch music videos. I'm gonna go watch this, and then I'm gonna go do that, and then I get distracted, and then I go read fanfic, and then I'm like, I haven't read manga in a while, so then I go open up manga, so then I'm like, I'll be doing things, and then halfway through I'm like, I should do something else. I'll be drawing. I should do something else. I'm gonna go look at music videos, which is why I have not caught up with a lot of the series that I'm reading or like watching. Like, I haven't watched the latest music video of Alien Stage. I have not caught up with Milgram. I have not caught up with the manga of Hypnosis Mike. I haven't caught up with like the latest chapter of a lot of mangas that I'm reading. Honestly, sometimes with mangas I like to let it accumulate. I like to let it just kind of sit there, and then I come back to it, I'm like, hell yeah! 10 new episodes. No, sorry, 10 new chapters. This is amazing. So that's what I do. So I don't really mind being behind on manga or being behind on like webtoons, because I know I can always just binge read the whole thing like later, and it's always best to do that because then I won't remember what happens. I'll go back like 5 chapters and I'm like, ah, so that's what happened, and then I like binge read like 20 episodes in a row. I'm like, that's great. Versus like trying to keep up with it every single week and being like, I don't remember what happens, and then I forget. I like fanfics too. Like if it's a chapter fanfic and I'm waiting for the next update and the last update was 6 months ago, I'm like, oh, I understand. It's so real, but at the same time, you know, I really don't remember what happened previously. Which is why whenever I look through fanfics, I always like to filter through, number one, I sort by word count because I'm insane. And then second, I sort by completed. I look for the tag. Like, it has to be completed if I'm looking for like a fic to read, and I'm like, I'm gonna read a novel, and then and then I scroll through the choices. I don't go for the anthology ones where it's like, oh, this is a compilation of short stories from like 50 different fandoms. I like to skip those. I just read like full-on written epilogue novels of just characters, and I don't even filter by fandom. This is just general. I'll pick like a tag like, oh, I'm in the mood to read modern fantasy, so then I'll go look for the modern fantasy tag. I'll click exclude. I'll exclude a bunch of fandoms that I don't want to read, like that I'm not interested in. Like for example, I like to filter out the DSMP fandom. I like to filter out the RPF fandom. I like to filter out Marvel. I don't have anything against Marvel. I just can't read like certain ones. Although I have read a really good like Batman Superman fanfic once. But yeah, I'll filter out for certain fandoms because those are the ones that I'm not very interested in. The rest of them I really don't care. I'm not in those fandoms, but I'll read it because they're really well written. And also, like, depending on the type of fandom that it's from, like, I think the tags change. Like, for example, if I've been recently reading a lot of, like, Merlin fanfics, and because the modern with magic tag is very popular in that fandom. Also, that fandom is so old. That fandom came out in, like, 2008. So I'm, like, reading fics from 2015. And I'm like, oh wow, this is great, this is nice. And then I go look at the year, and I'm like, oh, the timestamp when they talk about modern stuff on like their chatting fics and stuff like that, 2012. Wow, this is done in 2012. Like, oh, it's 2025. That's why I've never seen the series. I don't know any of these characters, but I really like the characters dynamic. I read fanfic like I do as if I were to go to a library and pull a book off the shelf, is how I would describe it as. Know nothing about the characters, know nothing about what they are, what they look like. You just start reading and you're like, okay, this is their personality, this is their character, this is like their goals. And if they're if they're OC, like out of character, I wouldn't know. I genuinely would not know because it doesn't matter. It's just, is it well written? Is it written in third person? Because it's really weird reading something that's in first person. It depends on like the style, but I prefer reading things in third person. And like, is the writing good? Because if it's a lot of action or it's heavily dialogue, then it's kind of hard to read through because it's like, well, who's talking? What's happening? Versus people who are very detailed in like writing emotions, people who are very detailed in writing like actions and what they're gonna do, and like they write really detailed scenes and you can imagine it in your head. Like especially horror fanfics, those are really cool. There are very, very few of them out there, but when I do come across like one related to like ghosts, it's so well written. Have I ever written a fanfic? No. Well, no. I don't like write properly enough to be able to like formulate a fanfic, to be fair. Like, I'll write scenarios of characters together. I'll be like, oh, you know, it'd be a really great fic idea like this, or like what's a really good trope is like if A character does this to B character, and I'll like think of tropes like that, but I haven't written like a full-on story. Like, one fanfic trope that I really want to see or like be written, or even just a general story, is like, okay, AU idea, or like just general characters. So think of a villain and a hero. Like, think of a superhero AU, but they are roommates, or they're neighbors. They live next door to each other in an apartment, or they share a flat together, and they do not know each other's identity. But when they go out into the city to go do their like thing, they are enemies. Right? I'm describing the plot of Miraculous, aren't I? I just realized. Actually, no, but like Miraculous, they work together. They don't know each other's identity and they work together. But yeah, Ladybug and Cat Noir, but think about it. If Cat Noir was evil, right? Can you imagine the angst? Like, can you imagine the angst? Cat Noir and Akuma. The butterfly guy? The butterfly guy? Honestly, I love... Yeah! I thought... Oh my god, remember when that show first came out and people were theorizing that that's her dad? They literally live together. Oh my god. Isn't that... I don't know, people theorizing that was her dad or something like that. I haven't watched the show. I watched it in French. Because some part of me was like, this show is written in France. I should watch it in French. Also, I need to like learn French. So I would watch the show in French and I would understand nothing. I recommend the show. French is nice. I just didn't understand a thing. I only watched the first season when I was younger. Same. I only watched like the first season, the first couple of episodes of the first season in particular. And that's actually personally one of my favorite tropes in like media. Secret identities. Like Tokyo Mew Mew. My favorite episodes of Tokyo Mew Mew was when she gets like transformed into a cat and then she gets like picked up by who's that dude's name? He's like her love interest, but he's just some dude. And then he's like, oh, I have a pet cat now, and she's like, holy moly. That trope in particular I really like. It's very cute. That's one of my favorite tropes. I don't know what that says about me as a person though. When character gets transformed into an animal, especially if that character is like their enemy, or if the character is their like somebody that they're like tsundere towards, and they're like, oh man, I haven't seen them in a couple days, I wonder where they are, and they're literally right there. Like, I like that trope. Or like another trope that I do enjoy is like person moves into house and the person who's there is a ghost. Like, I like that too, when they're like, you're in my house, but I live here. Yeah, well, I was here first. Like, that kind of trope is very funny. Or one of the other tropes I really do enjoy, but that's rarely ever used, is the video game trope. Anytime I see a media where the characters are in a video game, whether through MMORPGs or they get stuck in a video game, or they're playing a game as like an MMORPG with like online friends, or they're like in a party together, or there's like game-like elements, I'm a sucker for that. Like, I love that trope. That's my favorite. Like game tropes, where they're in a video game. Like, I'll read web novels, light novels of like them playing games. I'll read anything as long as it has that trope. That's why I read a lot of like sea novels with the transmigration type of survival game. like it's a horror game survival transmigration type like storyline that's really common that they use for like what are they called, death games, like escape games, where they're like, hey, you have to survive through 10 worlds or like 10 whatever, or like a certain number of things, and then the more you go through them, the harder they get, and then the people that you go with, like it's like a high risk scenario, so there's a chance of dying and you want to make it out alive. And so by the time you make it to the very end, you know, yeah, you get your wish granted, stuff like that. So I've read so many sea novels with that as its like gimmick / trope, and I finished a bunch of them. It's really good. I love horror novels. They're all like centered around horror too. It's not like anything that's like, we're going through and we're gonna like do normal things. No, it's like survival game shows. I recommend one of them, or like I've read a bunch of them. One of my most favorites though was what's it called? The World is Online. I highly recommend The World is Online. Really, really good. The main character has an umbrella and he's a librarian, and then he meets up with it takes a while for them to meet, but he makes friends with somebody through like a remote communication item that works like a walkie-talkie, and the other person is like a survivor, so they never participate in actual games unless it's like accidental, where he has to just kind of be there, and the other guy's like a military soldier, and it's really, really cool. But they work towards like solving puzzles, and all of the monsters that they fight in these little mini games against are based off of like popular fairy tale characters. So you got characters like they're also related to the games that they play. So for example, they had Cinderella, and Cinderella was, I don't know what the heck happened with Cinderella. She was running a game show, so she was like the game show hostess, and she was asking them questions related to everything that they previously encountered throughout the thing, throughout all the fairy tale monsters, and just quizzes based off of the people that they've encountered. So it's like, based off of context clues in the past, who is Snow White's lover? Stuff like that. And then some of these were like trick questions, and Cinderella had her own like little game show. And then things like Snow White had like a poison apple and a comb as a part of her story, that they had to go find her poison apple and make it into a pie. Or for some reason, out of everything, they had Mario. They never actually said the name Mario, but they said it was a giant with a mustache with a red cap and who broke blocks. And that game in particular was like basically Super Mario Party 8, where it's like a giant board game and you have to roll a dice and you traverse across the squares. Or like other types of characters where they made them do like battle royales and stuff like that. So that kind of writing, or those kind of like story type telling tropes, is very fascinating to me, especially when it comes to like game type show things, because it's very creative. Or what was the other one I read? Thriller trainee. There's I forgot the name. There's a lot of them that I've read. I don't remember all of the names, but that was one of my favorite tropes that I enjoy reading. But when it comes to like fanfics in particular, I don't know, there's a lot of tropes I enjoy. Actually, surprisingly, the ones that I don't enjoy a lot is like, I don't like PWP. I prefer storylines. Like, I like reading like stories for stories. I also don't really particularly pick fics based off of like common tropes. Like, I'm like, haha, and there was only one bed. Like, no, I'll read stuff based off of like generic tags. I'd be like, oh, I'm looking for fantasy, I'm looking for magical creatures, I'm looking for vampires, I'm looking for like mermaids, I'm looking for superheroes, I'm looking for like modern with magic, I'm looking for, I don't know if you can tell, but I really enjoy like fantasy tropes. I enjoy fantasy tropes with mixed with like modern tropes too. Like once in a while I'll enjoy like maybe a magical university AU. Those are really cool. Like, because I enjoy the world building that takes place in fantasy rather than it's just like, oh, I go to school. Wow, cool, that's so boring. Or like childhood friends to lovers, very cool, classic, done a million times. Never gets old, but it doesn't have the spice of life that I'm looking for. It doesn't have the spice. But yes, the idea that I was talking about that I wanted to like write was like a superhero and a villain. They're neighbors or they live together, and then they fight when they're out, but they don't know each other's identity, and they come home like constantly injured, and they're like, who did this to you? And they're like, oh, I got beat up by a gang, and they're like, what? Let me at them. And then they don't know it's them. It's like they don't know. And they don't know. Or like, I don't know, random other tropes like meet cutes. My favorite type of meet cutes are like not like cute meets, but like chaotic ones where it's just like I met them at a protest and I punched them in the face, and then I found out like a week later that they were my I found out a week later that they were my friend's friend. Stuff like that. I like tropes like that too. They're funny. My also second favorite tag is like crack fics. I love crack fics. Like stuff like absurd. Just nothing in that thing happens, but it's just very chaotic. Where it's like, oh. It starts off really weird. Where it's like, so-and-so character is at like a table, and then you're like, okay, cool. They're at a table, and then it just goes off into like unhinged territory where it's like, Shrek bursts in through the door, and then Makima from like Chainsaw Man comes in, and then they start wrestling on the floor of the cafeteria of this high school, and then Solid Snake comes in, and then he like becomes 10 feet tall, and then like the Call of Duty people come and show up, and then like you just have like characters from like random franchises just constantly. What did I walk into? I'm talking about like crack fics. Crack fics on AO3 or like on fanfiction.net, and like how random they're written. Shrek and Makima wrestling, yeah. Who would win, guys? Who would win? If Shrek and Makima were if Makima didn't have any powers, like who would win? You know what my favorite crack ship is? Isabelle and Snake. They're so cute. My favorite crack. Also, you know what the second one is? Shrek and Hatsune Miku. No, I think it was Shrek and Samus, right? That's the second most popular one. Shrek and Samus. Or the Disney crack ships. What? What do you mean what? Shrek and Samus. Zero Suit Samus. Or, you know the Disney ones that were really popular way back in, like, 2018? Where people were like, Elsa and Jack Frost should be, like, a really cute couple. Or, like, who was it? Hiccup and Rapunzel was also another couple. Shrek and Miku? Yes, there is a fan art out there of Shrek and Miku together. It's very cute. It's, like, the classic one where Shrek is on the motorcycle and then Miku is sitting behind him with her head on his shoulder. Yeah, it's a famous artwork that went viral for a little bit on Twitter. Yeah, Shrek and Miku, that's a ship. Also Shrek and Samus. There's a lot of crack ships out there. Jack Frost and Elsa make sense, both ice and elementals. Yeah, they both have white hair, they both have like ice powers. It made sense. And the edits were insane. People were really good at like clipping parts of the movie and then cutting the characters out of the scene that they were in and then overlapping it with the movie, so that when they were interacting, it looked like they were talking to each other. And there were so many really good edits out there of that ship. It was wild. Or I don't remember some of the other ships that existed out there. But yeah, like crack fics are fun. Like just stuff like, oh no, I can't find my left sock. I need my specifically left sock. Right? I need my I need my left sock, and then they go on this journey to go find this person's left sock, and then they get turned into sock puppets, and then they're like, wait a minute, but maybe the friends we met along the way were the true friends we met along the way. And then like somebody gets turned into like a dragon, and then they go on like this journey, and then you find out at the very end that they were socks themselves all along, and they were going on a tumble journey through like the laundry. It's basically like a fever dream. You're reading this and you're like, none of this is making sense, but it's fun. I've read a lot of weird crack fics out there. I think the worst ones I've read are like the ones that manage to like include the weirdest things possible. It's just crazy stuff. Like the ones that don't take itself seriously are the best ones. But there's also ones that do take itself like really seriously. Like I'm currently reading one about Final Fantasy. It's like Cloud. The real socks, the friends we made along the way, yes. The ones that you lose are the ones that are going on a romantic journey together across the galaxy. The socks that you lose in your dryer, they're gone. They've eloped with each other. They've made friends. I'm reading this crack fic. It's really long. I don't even know if it's considered a crack fic because it's mostly like realistically written. It's Cloud Strife when he was a trainee. He gets a VR headset, and then he gets sent to like a video game. But the race that he chose was basically just like a really skimpy furry. And every single time he tries to put on a piece of armor, it just transforms into like a bikini, essentially. That's the entire fic. That's it. It's just Cloud Strife wearing like nothing, basically. And it's not even like a PWP. It's like it's a fully written out storyline with him meeting other people. Yeah, MMO female armor, but it's just Cloud. It's Cloud and MMO female armor. Like think about Link, Breath of the Wild, Hyrulean outfit, right? With the mask. That outfit for Link, I remember seeing like the Gerudo outfit. Yeah. The fan art of that goes wild, by the way. Very fun. But that's the entire fic. Man, I need to get back to reading fics. I haven't read any since I was in high school. You should. There's so many out there that are really good. Did you know that recently AO3 crashed because somebody reached the bookmark limit? The maximum that they allowed on that site that they coded in properly was like 56 million something, and then they finally somebody bookmarked the last one to its limit. It crashed the whole site because it reached the max. And you know what it was? It was an Omegaverse fanfic that crashed the site. And we were like, oh my god, AO3's down, why? And then they're like, oh, it reached the max. It reached the max fanfic bookmark limit. That's fun. AO3's been around for a really long time. Although I will say, there is this thing. Of course it was Omegaverse, it's my brain. Hey, what's going on today? We're just chatting. I was showing chat. I went on a trip. I went to Texas for a con, for an anime convention, and I came back and I was telling chat about it, and now we're talking about fanfics. Now we're talking about fanfiction. You should see the type of fanfic that exists in Japan. There's one called Cakeverse, and it's really weird. So Cakeverse is like Omegaverse, but instead of like the whole like mpreg thing, it's like it's basically the scent stuff with like bonding and all that with like true scents and true mates and stuff, but without the mpreg. So somebody is a cake means that they're like irresistible when they go into like whatever. And only the fork that they are true fated to be with can smell them, and so they want to eat the cakes. It is really weird. It's like this really weird Japanese version of Omegaverse. You couldn't pay me to go back to Texas? I mean, it's okay. I will say one of the fun experiences was I was walking back from the con back to my Airbnb with my group of friends, and Frozone on roller skates goes past me, whizzes past me very fast, and he leans over. He like basically zooms in on rollerblades very close to me, and then he leans down a little and he goes, "You're very pretty," and then he like zips away, like really fast away. And I was like, what? I just made a snorting nose hearing about that cake stuff. Yeah. Cakeverse. You should look it up. It's called, there's actually a lot of Cakeverse doujins in Japan manga. Kyo's got the passive riz. It wasn't even me. It was like them. I was like, what the heck? Frozone. What? Okay. Or like, we were also walking by, and then there was this guy who was clearly not in his right mind. I think he was drunk. His face was all red, and he was like yelling about random stuff, and he was like he passed us by on the like sidewalk, and he was like, "Hey, you guys got any change?" And we were like, "No, sorry." Stuff like that. Very fun things happening in Texas. Or like people standing on street corners with the squeegee trying to like wash your windshields for money. Like people do that. Apparently that's like a thing. That's not a thing where I'm from, but apparently it's in Texas. And again, it's like a city thing, right? I think. I know, I've never been to Texas until like last week, so that was my first time being there. I heard that there was supposed to be a flood in that area. We did not experience that. I think it was a completely different area. We were in Houston. But no rain at all the entire time you were there, so that's nice. I was expecting it to be like pouring or something, but no. The con had a food festival outside. It was really nice. I didn't actually go to the food festival, but I saw like the trucks and stuff, and I was like, do I want to get food? Nah. I spent the entire time like eating straight up granola bars. And like I bought popcorn at the grocery store. I bought caramel popcorn. I bought a lot of granola bars and then some chips. And that's what I survived off for like 3 days. Like I was there from 9 a.m. in the morning to like 7 p.m. That's all I ate. So yeah, I didn't want to get food at the con because it was expensive. Like $14 for a sandwich is way too much. It's like airport food. I would never buy stuff anywhere at the airport. I refuse. If anything is like that expensive, I'm like, I'm just gonna starve. I'm just gonna pack snacks, you know? Yeah, that was my most weird experience that I had. Also, another experience was me walking down the hallway. Not the hallway, like the alley, and then like having... Oh, I have some funny stories. Like day 2, Friday, I put my hair in like a side bun. Like, you know how I have like twin tails, right? I put my hair in like a side bun on one side only. And then I like tied it with like a bow. And then this very nice Asian mom. She was like an elderly lady. She looked like she was in her maybe like 50s. I got elderly lady riz, you know? I was walking by, she calls out to me and she goes, "Oh, you!" And I turned to look at her and she's like, "Your hair is so cute." And I'm like, "Thank you." And she's like, "Turn around for me." And then I like show her the back of my head. And then she's like, "So cute." And then I'm like, "Thank you." And she's got like the strongest like accent. The old lady. Elderly Asian lady. I think she was with her son. Because her son was like younger. I mean, her son was in his like 40s. She was in her like elderly. And she was like, "Oh, you're so pretty." I was like, "Thank you so much." Or like I was walking and then I would have like people come up to me and they're like, "Oh, I love your outfit," stuff like that. Or like I would have girls tell me that too. I just love women. I love when girls compliment each other. Dudes coming up to me, complimenting me, being like, "Oh, you're so pretty. Oh, you're so cool." Cool. Thanks. Women, when the baddies compliment you and they've got like a cool fit, they've got that fire fit, and they gas you up, that's a completely different feeling because it's like, okay, Sasuke, thank you for the compliment. Versus like if a baddie with like the coolest gothic Lolita outfit you've ever seen in your entire life compliments you, that's a different feeling. You're like, someone gothic Lolita girl thinks that I'm pretty. Oh my god. Like, hell yeah. Versus like some dude wearing like a Naruto t-shirt. You're like, okay. I don't know, it hits different. It hits different like when women compliment each other versus like anything else. Or like I forgot what else happened. There was a lot that happened. I don't remember everything. I have a lot of just really random stories of like people talking to me or people like saying stuff. I don't remember anything that happened because it was just like so much. Oh, at this con, there was supposed to be a concert by Flow, the Japanese band that did Colors. That's their most famous song. They did Colors for Code Geass, I believe. Not Code Geass, sorry. Evangelion, no. Was it Evangelion? I don't remember. They were supposed to perform. We did not end up making it to that concert, sadly. We went to dinner instead and got bubble tea, but we were meaning to go. My friend group and I were meaning to go to the concert. They were like, "Oh yeah, even if the con was like horrible, because like a lot of people ended up abandoning their tables at Artist Alley, so people didn't show up. There was a lot of empty spaces because people didn't show up. They put people in horrible positions at the very back of the con when most people were like in the middle sections towards the exhibitors hall. So nobody really trickled downwards towards the Artist Alley, and even if they did, it was like a straight beeline to the 18 plus section. So there's some places that just didn't get very much foot traffic at all, so those artists were complaining and they all moved their tables around. So some people, they didn't have a very good con experience because the place that they were put at the tables just wasn't getting foot traffic. It was really bad for them. But people were saying like, "Oh, even if this con isn't the best, like even if the con isn't the best, like at least go to the concert." And we were like, "Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna go visit the concert." We never end up doing that. We didn't do that in the first place. It was sad. I think that was it. No other highlights that I remember. Ooh, there was like some really cool cosplayers out in the main hall too. I didn't take a picture with them, but they were cool. There was actually a lot of like Hololive, a lot of VTubers, a lot of VTuber cosplays, and because there was a lot of VTuber fan art, people were selling like VTuber fan art, and like a lot of gacha games in particular that was really popular at this con. That was the stuff that was selling the most. Like stuff that would sell the most was like Honkai Star Rail, Woo-Wah, Wuthering Waves. Occasionally a little bit of Genshin stuff, but actually Genshin was surprisingly not very popular at this con. Like I saw not a lot of Genshin cosplays. I saw like maybe like 2 or 3 Furinas. I saw like I saw like 2 or 3 Furinas. I think that's pretty much all for the Genshin cosplays. I saw maybe like a Tainari. I saw like a Layla. There was like a whole cosplay group that went together. You could tell they were like a little group of friends. They all like went together. So there was like a Layla, there was a Tainari, there was a Lisa, there was an Amber, like that group. Not a lot of Genshin cosplay. I'm surprisingly I did not see a single Venti cosplayer. Whenever I go out in public, especially in Canada, I don't know why, but whenever I go to the mall, I always see at least one Genshin cosplayer or somebody cosplaying as like the Prima Gem. But I didn't see that at this con. I saw like a lot of other type of fandoms. Like there was a lot of Freyren. There was a lot of there's a lot of games, like video game characters. What was really popular was One Piece. One Piece was super popular for some reason. That's all. I guess because it's easy. You got a lot of people wearing, what's it called? Like from like a lot of different fandoms. I saw like Star Rail cosplayers, some people who were dressed as basically any franchise you could possibly think of, like whether it be game or anime. There was probably at least somebody from that franchise. And what's really cool is that some people were looking for the franchise that they were a part of. So if they would see merch that they were cosplaying, they were more likely to just be like, oh, I'll buy that. Or people who would, especially the booth that I was at, they'd be like, oh, do you have art of this character? And we'd be like, no. And they're like, aw, okay. And then like they leave. Because this booth in particular that I was at was selling like VTuber art, was selling like a mix of like Wuthering Waves and Honkai Star Rail, basically. That was it. Honkai Star Rail and Wuwa. But there was other people out there who had like a lot of different types of stuff. Like people were selling carpets. That was insane. Like full on knitted carpet. There was this really cute, huge carpet that was like a tapestry of an opossum pile. It was so cute. I didn't take a picture of it, but it was like, how do you, like, okay, how big is this? 1 feet, 2 feet, 3 feet, like 6 feet by maybe 8 feet, like a huge carpet tapestry of possums, like possum pile. Very cute, very large. I was like, oh, possums. Okay, I don't think it was 6 feet by 8 feet, that's way too big, but it was like around the size of like a normal standard like room carpet. Very big. I don't know how large that would be. Just like a room carpet, but like with possums on it. And the color was like, it was like embroidered around the edges, and then the details were all like, kind of like, think of like medieval Renaissance paintings. That's what the edges look like. It got like the vines with the flowers wrapped around the edges, the borders, and then in the middle there's this giant possum pile. And then around the edges of like the pile, there was like individual little possums just kind of like resting, running around, just like climbing on top of each other, just with all different types of faces of possums. And then they had like embroidered at the bottom, it was like possum, a possum pile or something like that. I was like, oh my god, it's like, it's a possum carpet. I was like, wow, I've never seen that before. I was like, if I had $100, I too would buy. I don't know what I'd do with it. I don't think I could even take it home. I don't have the storage for it. I don't have the luggage for it. I don't have anywhere in my my room that I could put the possum. Where would I put the possum carpet? I don't have any room in my room for the possum carpet. I have a carpet already, but I was like, for a moment, for like a brief second, I was like, I want the possum carpet. Not even because I enjoy possums or anything, but just because it's so like eccentric. You invite somebody over to your living room and they look down and you're like, look at my possum carpet. We should cuddle in front of the fireplace with the possum carpet. The possum carpet. And they had other stuff too. It was just mostly like medieval kind of painting style carpets. It was cool. Or like, I don't know, there's a lot of different types of merch that existed out there. Although I think the one that was the most common was probably prints. I did bring home a couple of prints. I didn't take a picture of them, but they're very nice. I got Blue Archive characters, and then I also got Arcanite's characters. So I have like a print of Amiya, I have a print of Moo. I have a print of Dusk and I forgot her name. Skady, I think. And also Blue Poison. And then the only Blue Archive character I have, I think, is like not Koharu, it's I forgot her name. She's got like white hair and wings. Which is I realized saying that out loud is very vague because there's like at least 10 characters with white hairs and wings. She's the one with like the stars and like the stuff in her hair. I don't know. It's hard to describe. She's got like a white dress. People who play Blue Archive, I don't know. I just got them because they were pretty and because they were free. Because I was talking to the artist and they were like, please take it. I don't want it. I have to take it home. Mika? Oh, maybe. Oh yeah, it is Mika. Yeah, the pink hair. Okay, yeah, there's Mika. The lighting makes it look like she has like white hair. She's got like lightish colored hair. Yeah, Mika. It's really pretty fan art. But I find that at this con there was a lot of people buying stuff for like fandom. So like they're in the fandom, they'll buy characters because they like the character. I found that was probably the most common versus like me who goes and buys things simply because I like things that are cute. I'm like, oh, this sticker's so cute. I want this one. Or like, this pin's so cute. I don't know who this character is, but I'm gonna get it. I pick things based off aesthetics. Some people pick things based off a character. We are not the same. But no, all the merch that I got was gifted, essentially. Because on the last day, people are doing heavy discounts. Or if you know artists, they'll just give it to you because they're like, I just don't want it. The perks of being friends with artists. As an artist, you just mention, be like, hey, I am also at this art. I'm also an artist. And they go, wow, here you go. So, fun. I had a great time. If I had the opportunity to in the future, like some cons that I really want to go to, I want to go to Anime Expo, and I also want to go to Offkai. If I ever get a chance to booth at those places, if I get the chance to like help out as like an artist at these places, like I don't know if I would go as an attendee because I think it's just too chaotic. But if I were to go as like a booth, as like to help out as an artist, I would go. Because I was asked a couple of times. They were like, "Oh, if you're here as a helper and you draw, like, would you ever booth on your own? Like, would you ever sell your own like stuff?" And I was like, I don't know, cause I don't like recently. As of late, I've been drawing mostly like personal stuff or like VTubing, right? Like you guys have seen, like I've been drawing my own panels. I've been drawing my own emotes. I've been drawing my own like character design. So I don't do a lot of fan art of like popular franchises that I would be able to sell, because if I were to go to a con and I were to sell like art I draw of myself, it would be weird. Or even like my own original characters that I draw too. Like it wouldn't sell very well because people don't know who the characters are, and I feel like a majority of the time at these cons, people buy characters that they like rather than like based off of the art itself. So if I were to draw, I'd have to draw like a lot of fan art. And then maybe on the side I could like sell my own stuff, but like I don't know how popular it would be. It'd have to be like something that people recognize. Like if I drew Hatsune Miku, people would be like, oh my god, it's Miku. But if I were to draw like any other character, they'd be like, who the hell is that? It's very hard to do like original stuff at conventions, especially anime conventions, because a lot of times people are like, what the heck is this? You know? So, I don't know if I would booth by myself and sell my own stuff at cons, but I'd help other people do it. Very cool. Anyways, what was I gonna do? Oh, my schedule for this week. I think I'm streaming on Friday. I just wanted to catch up, be like, hey, this is what I did. I'm back now. We're back to our normal scheduled stuff. I forgot what I wanted to do. I wanted to play some more guitar. I wanted to play a game. Actually, I wanted to play Minecraft in particular. I have some like songs that I wanted to play on guitar, and then I have like I wanted to play Minecraft because I wanted to build stuff with the cherry blossoms on the server that people brought back. I wanted to do that, so maybe on Friday we might do that. Minecraft. I'm looking at my desktop of the games that I have on my desktop because of the games that I want to play. Yeah, we'll do another server stream. I want to build my house. I want to build a house. Maybe Friday. We'll do Minecraft, and then maybe we'll take it slow. We'll take it slow coming back. We'll do Tuesday, Friday, and then next week we might do like. It's been a while since I played Monster Hunter Wilds. It's been a while since I played Fantasy Life, and it's been a while since I played Skyrim and Fields of Mystria, so I'll play one of those. I've been meaning to like play that. At the same time, I kind of want to do like an art stream. I want to draw. I want to play the guitar. I want to do like so many things, but there's not enough time. Also, I have this massive assignment coming up, by the way. Like, I have to write a 15-page essay. Not an essay, but like a research review of 30 minimum sources. A literature review. So I gotta go out and I gotta go find at least 30 sources and then write about each and every single one of them and talk about the similarities, the differences, and it has to be like 15 pages long. And that's due in 2 weeks, so I might be working on that this week. I'll probably just be school. Probably. But yeah, Friday we'll do something. In the meantime, I'll probably just be doing schoolwork. I'll be dying. And then next week, if I procrastinate, if I procrastinate, we'll probably just be doing like a work stream next week. Where I'll have to sit down and force myself to do my schoolwork on stream. It'll just be like typing ASMR kind of stuff. I've been thinking of doing like a kind of format, especially for next semester when I'm going back to like my normal type of schedule. I was thinking of doing like study streams instead of like completely not streaming because I now have to focus on school. Like, I have a very challenging semester next coming up in the fall, like September to like December, because it's a course that I struggle with a lot, especially because it's statistics and I'm not good at math. So I will probably be doing a lot of like ASMR / typing / working / studying streams coming up in the near future, and like in 4 months. Actually, wait, August, September, October, November. Wait, when is it now? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, in like 3 months, I'll probably just be doing a lot of that. So, haha. I probably won't be playing as much games. I'll be doing a lot of like ASMR / study streams. I'll try to do at least one game stream though. Like one game stream a week. Probably Fridays. That's like a good rest day for me. Then I can stay up and I can just catch up on rest. And then during the week, I'll be doing school. And I'll be very like sad. I'll be very like dead. I'll be like, guys, I have an assignment due every single week. I have to get this done, and it's like statistics, and I hate statistics. So I'll be doing that. And I was thinking of doing like this technique with the Pomodoro technique, so I'll be like, I'll have a timer set up in the corner. I have to go make my assets for it, but I'll probably be doing something along the lines of, I'll work for 20 minutes, I'll set a timer, and then I'll like chat for like 5, and then I'll do another 20, and then I'll do another 5 chatting, or like 10, I don't know. Actually, what is it? Okay, how Pomodoro technique works is that you break it up into chunks and you do breaks. So I can either do 20 minutes and then 5, or I can do 30 minutes and then 10. I don't know. I could work for 30 and then break 10 to chat. Or I can do 20 minutes and then 5-minute break. And then after 3 rounds of that, I do a 15-minute break. I have to go like look into the timings particularly, but that's the kind of like the kind of what brackets slash like things that I want to like break it up into so that I can work. And then if you have anything that you want to get done in particular, I'll probably just be doing like playing some really, really quiet BGM and just sounds of typing slash like working if you want. If you're like me, who likes working with someone else who's also working, it's probably just be how it goes. Anyways, it's like 2 a.m. I should probably go to bed. I've been trying to catch up on sleep, especially since the past week I got like basically none. I've been going to bed at 10, waking up at like 8. No, going to bed actually. I would not go to bed at 10. Like, who am I? I go to bed at 2, wake up at 8 every single day for like from like Thursday to Saturday, Sunday. I got back home Monday at like 2 a.m. Didn't go to bed until 3. And then ever since then, I've just been doing the same thing. Going to bed at 2, waking up at 7. No sleep. It's 2 a.m. I'm gonna go to bed. By the time I'm in bed, it's gonna be like 3. And I gotta wake up at 7, so yippee! Yay! Oh, who needs sleep? Anyways, good night everybody. Thank you for stopping by. I'm going to raid you out. I don't know who's streaming. Let me look. Good night. Thank you for stopping by. Wait. Oh my god. I can send you guys to this person. I'm gonna send you them. I'm gonna say hi. I'm gonna send you to somebody that I met when I was at the con. Their name is Smith and Seraph. We're gonna say hi. They're playing Uwe Musume. So, have fun. Don't let the beds bite. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if beds bite? That'd be fun. Do you think that would be comfortable? Because beds are kind of soft. Maybe? Anyways, good night. Thank you for stopping by. Outro. I can't hear my game! I can't hear my stream! Oh my god, I forgot. I can't hear OBS. Oh, I can't hear my VTuber. I don't know where it's ending. Anyways, bye bye everybody. Thank you for stopping by. Good night. I will see you again on Friday. Bye 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 bye.